My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my UnderDog Fantasy entry for UFC Vegas 71. If you don't know what UnderDog Fantasy is, you literally just come here and say higher or lower than the numbers you see on the screen. If you're correct, you can 20 times your money. You could play it safe. You can 3 times your money. You can extend that out, get 5 of them correct, 20 times your money. You can add insurance where you get some wrong and you still get paid. First thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/underdog. And if you use promo code WWP when you sign up, they will give you free money. If you give them $100, they'll give you $100. You give them 50, they'll give you 50. They'll instantly match your deposit, and that money is right there, ready to go. So head on over to wewantpicks.com/underdog. Promo code WWP, take that very free money and build yourself an entry. I'm going to walk you through my entry. So this card feels a little trickier than others as far as underdog is concerned, right? Betting-wise, it felt like an easy card, but fantasy-wise, it's a little tricky, and I'll tell you why. Main event, for example, Curtis Blaydes. If you think Curtis Blaydes wins, then you need to just go higher on fantasy points. Just that simple. Because he's going to get a whole bunch of takedowns, probably a finish. If you think he loses, then go lower. Again, this fight likely doesn't make it to the second round, definitely not the third. So to get to these fantasy points, he's going to win by stoppage. Or if he loses, he's going to get nowhere near them. So that in and of itself is easy, but I don't trust that fight enough to throw it in my entry. So I will show you what I did do. Bobby Green, 87.5 significant strikes. I like the lower there because in 26 UFC fights, 26 fights in the UFC, Bobby Green has only gone over that number 7 times. Jared Gordon is going to be one of his easiest opponents. Therefore, he should win early, potentially win by stoppage, touch up Jared Gordon. It could go 2 ways, right? He could beat the absolute piss out of Jared Gordon and set a significant strike record, or get him out of there kind of early. I don't see Jared Gordon as tough as some of the other opponents. I think Bobby Green gets it done. I think he gets him out of there somewhat early. And again, Bobby Green has only ever gone over this number 7 times in 26 fights. And in those 26 fights, there's a whole slew of decisions and things of that nature. So I like the lower 87.5 significant strikes on Bobby Green. And then if we go look at Junior Tafa, this is the exact same logic with the main event. If you think Junior Tafa wins, then he's going to win most likely by stoppage and get Muhammad Usman out of there. I think he does. Therefore, I'm going over 39.5 fantasy points. Muhammad Usman showed that he's hittable. He is hittable. He was getting absolutely pieced up in his last fight before he landed that big one punch. Junior Tafa is a bigger, stronger guy, a professional kickboxer. He shouldn't have too many issues here, and he should be able to get past this. This is a low number, too, at 39.5 fantasy points. But if you're on the other side and you think Usman gets it done, then go the lower. Because Junior's not going to get to this number if he doesn't get a finish. Then we're going to head on over to Rivals. What Rivals does is it takes the opponents and you just say between these two guys in this matchup, who's going to get more? For example, main event, significant strikes. Who's going to land more significant strikes in that fight? They're giving Sergey Pavlovich 2.5 to start. I'm not touching that. That main event, anything could literally happen. So I'm not going to touch it. What I do like is this Bruno Silva plus 4.5 significant strikes. So all this means is I'm picking Bruno Silva to land more significant strikes than Brad Tavares, and they're going to give me 4.5 to start. So if Bruno Silva lands 14 significant strikes and Brad Tavares lands 14 significant strikes, I win. I still get paid because the house is going to give me another 4.5 on top of what he actually did. So I like that because win or lose, Bruno Silva is going to come forward, stay busy. If you go through their stats, Bruno Silva lands more significant strikes per minute than Brad Tavares does, and he has done this in every single one of his fights, essentially. So Bruno Silva plus 4.5 significant strikes. This is my entry. I already have it placed. We will walk through it one more time very quickly. I got Bobby Green under 87.5 significant strikes, Junior Tafa higher than 39.5 fantasy points, and then Bruno Silva to land more significant strikes in Rivals, and I'm going to get 4.5 to start. If you want to see the fantasy scores, well, go back to Pick'em, and you're going to see the tips here. Work your way down, click All Rules, find Miscellaneous Sports because nobody respects MMA, and then you're going to see, come on with it, here's the fantasy points and the fantasy scoring. You can pause your screen if you want to learn more about that. Guys, WeWantPicks.com/underdog. That promo code is WWP. Get the free money. They're giving you free money. If you give them $20, let's say I only have $20, let me give it a try. They're going to give you 20. You now have 40 instantly to play with. And if you win, you can withdraw all that money. If you lose, who cares? You lost their money, not yours. WeWantPicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP.